Hi, I'm Ralph. Welcome to my kitchen. I can't wait to get to today's recipe. Today we are making candied bacon. Any ladies out there? Let me tell you right now, this is going to be the fastest way to a man's heart. Remember that, candied bacon. What we're doing is I'm doing it several different ways. I've got a baking sheet here. I've got 4 strips on a cooling rack. I've got 4 strips directly on parchment paper, and just for comparison purposes, I've got 2 strips on a paper plate that I'm going to be putting into the microwave just to see how it turns out. I've got the oven preheated to 400 degrees. Now, if you're using thin cut bacon, that's going to take less time. Thick cut bacon, which is my preference, I'm going to have it in there for about 25 to 30 minutes. At 25 minutes, I'm going to try to pull out some of it, and then I'm going to put it back in for the full 30 minutes just to see how it compares for crispness. The microwave, that's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to have the 2 strips in there, I think for about 3 minutes, and we'll see how it turns out. What we start out with here is I've got a ½ a cup of brown sugar. I've got a ½ a cup of pure maple syrup. So I'm going to add that into my bowl with the brown sugar. Gonna mash that in there, get it all mixed up. That's about it. Doesn't take very long. Got a brush. Gonna be brushing it directly onto the bacon. Okay, now I've just flipped all the bacon over, and we're going to be putting our mixture in on the other side as well. Now when I microwave bacon, I normally like to do it in a paper plate. I just think it's neater. There's no mess to clean up afterwards. You just take the bacon out, you put it on some paper towels to drain, and the paper plates get thrown away. There's no pan to clean up. I really have tried to do the pan method. I've even tried to use that pan method that they're promoting on the internet with using water in with the bacon. It did not work for me. And I'll tell you that if you've made bacon in a pan, you will wind up with a huge mess on your hands. There's just no way around it, and it takes a lot of cleaning up. This will not take any time at all to really clean up. Although with the parchment paper, I would make sure that you run the parchment paper up on the sides of the baking sheet just to make it for easier cleanup later. I'm using a non-stick pan, so it's really not that terrible. But if you can avoid the cleanup, why not? With that said, I'm going to put this into the oven. I'm going to set the timer for 25 minutes. I'm putting the microwave bacon into the microwave, setting that for 3 minutes. You notice I'm putting a plate in on top to stop the splattering that is going to happen. And we'll see what it looks like in just a few minutes. So be back shortly. Okay, I hear the buzzer on the microwave, so it's time to see how that's turned out. Wow, that is hot. maybe not quite so successful, but we'll see. I'll give it a taste test here in a little bit. In the meantime, go ahead and put that onto a plate. And now it's time to wait for the oven to go off and see what the bacon in there looks like. Be back in a moment. Hi, the timer has just gone off, so it's time to take the bacon out of the oven and see how it's doing, to pull some of them at this point and then put the rest back in. Okay, this is all looking really good. Now at this point, let me just say, if this video is being helpful to you at all, a subscription would mean a lot to me, because it tells me that I'm building an audience, that what I'm creating is being helpful to people. And also comments left down below also would be extremely helpful, especially if you're giving me suggestions of what you would like to see me cook in the future. Because this is a two-way street here. I'm not just here to cook, I'm here to cook things that you're interested in. So let me know. With that said, here's how the bacon turned out. I'm going to pull two of the pieces that were down here on the parchment paper. That's kind of falling apart. And two pieces from the rack up above. Now as they cool down, they're going to firm up a little bit. But if you really like it crispier, and I know my wife certainly does, we're going to see what another 5 minutes in the oven will do for it. So we're going to put these back in for another 5 minutes. And we will be right back. Okay, we're back. I hear the timer going off. So it's time to pull the bacon out. And here's what we have. This is after 30 minutes in the oven. Here's the bacon from the parchment. It's been cooking in the bacon fat the whole time. And this is the bacon from the cooling rack side. Now I think overall we will see that the cooling rack side will give us a more consistent product. Get this out of our way. A little bit earlier, I checked on these. These were actually very sticky to the surface. I had to kind of loosen them up from the plate. The ones on the cooling rack side, there was no problem getting them off the plate. So these will be a little bit tougher to work with, although I'm guessing that they may be a little bit more bacon flavor because they've been cooking in the bacon grease this whole time. If you're going to be doing a large group, or even just a smaller group but a family, baking is the way to go. If you're just doing a person or two and you want to do it quick, microwave can work out, but probably not so much when you're doing the candied bacon. If you're just doing regular bacon, you can probably pull it off a little bit easier. So let's see how they taste. These don't look quite as nice as the others, but very crispy. Very crispy. Let's try the one from the 25 minutes. Very flavorful. I like it. Cooling rack side, also very flavorful. I'd have to give the edge to the cooling rack side. Definitely a lot easier to work with when they're done. Moving on. Just the appearance of the cooling rack side after 30 minutes, I think looks better. Let's try the taste here. So you can see how the one that's been in the bacon grease the whole time is sticking to the plate, whereas these, not so much. It's good, but for the one that was in the bacon grease, I think I like the flavor, maybe even the texture, the chewiness of the 25-minute one versus the crispier 30-minute one on the parchment paper. That's the best. Definitely cooling rack after 30 minutes, even the 25 minutes, but after 30 minutes, that is the ultimate. That is awesome. That is truly, truly good. Ladies, you want to hook a man, you want to keep a man, that's the one to do it. Candied bacon in the oven, on the cooling rack, 30 minutes. With that said, I'm out of here. I've had fun. See you next week. Bye-bye.